Welcome to part one of my two-part huge Easter Bunny Extravaganza. All of my DIYs are made with mostly Dollar Tree supplies, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Hey everybody, I'm Soozie and this is Soozie's Stuff. Welcome to station KDIY Channel 146. I'm so happy you're here. I would love it if you'd click and subscribe and then click the bell to be notified when I upload a new episode. And if you like what you see, give me a thumbs up or even a comment. So don't touch that dial. Let's go make some stuff. And our very first project today, kicking off this extravaganza, is my giant bunny head frame. Now, I did something like this previously, and it was in my Valentine's episode. And I'm going to leave the link up above there so you can see how I did this. And it's the same kind of fabric or, material that the giant bunny head is. It's that really thick felt. And I kind of struggled with this the first time that I did it with the heart. So I kind of knew what I was getting myself into, but I really liked how the heart turned out. And I was hoping that my bunny would too. So you have to do a couple of steps on this to get the paint because it just soaks up all of the paint. So my very first step is I use some ivory chalk paint and with a sponge, and I'm just going over all of it. And it looks like, oh yeah, it's covering. But after it dries for a while, it starts to sink in and then the blue starts coming out. So I let it sit for about 30 minutes. And as you can see here, the blue is starting to come through again. So what I did is take some spray paint and I'm using that. I take it outside and I'm going to give it 2 coats. And that really helps. And while that's out drying, I'm going to take this 18 by 11 by 18 frame from Dollar Tree. And I love this green color. It's the moss color in the chalk paint. And I'm going to give it 2 coats. Now this is kind of funny because you notice my mat is the polka dots. And this is some paper from Dollar Tree. And as I was working with the bunny, I'm like, I really like the background. So I cut this out and I'm going to glue it to the glass of the frame. And I'm going to put the paper right on top and get that glued on. So that'll be the background of the bunny. I laugh so hard because I'm like, I really like that. So I smooth that out and you'll see here in just a minute, like before your eyes, it starts to sort of wrinkle up. And I probably wouldn't have used it, but since the bunny is so big, it covers it. So it was okay. So I didn't have to redo it. But I'm putting it all together now. And notice the bunny, how white it is. The spray paint worked, but I actually went over it just a little bit with some acrylic white paint. And that totally did it. So now I am hot gluing it onto the frame. Looks like the frame has no back, but it's my mat. It's so funny. I cracked up on that. Because I love that polka dot and wrapping paper. It's really cute. So now I'm going to make a little nose out of this. I guess it's kind of like a chenille yarn that I got at Dollar Tree. I was really excited to see it. And I just make a little pom-pom and I cut it off. And then I'm using the wired sort of twine. I love this. And you can kind of make it go whichever way you want. So that's going to be our little whiskers. So I just twist those together, glue it on, and then I add the little pink nose. Well, it looks like we're off to a good start with my extravaganza because this first project was a success. I love the texture that this felt gives after painting it. I know it does take a few coats. I use chalk paint and spray paint and acrylic paint, but it really does come out great. And I just love how happy and cute. And I love the jute twine that I used with that wire in it. It's perfect for whiskers. All right, for my next project, it's called the Faux Wood Easter Blocks. This was inspired by something that I saw on Pinterest. You might have seen something like this, but I just didn't want to make it out of wood. And so I was walking around Dollar Tree. You know how we do. Our minds are just going, what can I do? And so I found these really cool gift boxes over in the party section. And I was I was stunned because I really never checked them out before. And they are perfect to use for this project and any other type of wood block saying that you would like to do. So, and it's got that textured kind of scroll look. I love that. So I'm just first going to paint it with some ivory chalk paint. And then after that dries, I'm using the antique wax, and I'm just going over that. And it just really brings out all of that scrolly, beautiful color. And I'm going heavy on the sides. Now, I chose more of a darker color or sort of rustic color because I kind of wanted it to be a little antique-ish looking. And you could use pastel colors, I think would be pretty since it's Easter or spring. So feel free to see what you like and test out some different ways to do it. Also, if you notice, it has lids, and the lids would make a really cool project. So I'm going to keep those on hand. So I'm just going to be doing all of these boxes. And you also notice that there were some that were a little bit bigger and some that were a little bit smaller. So I'm spelling out the word Easter, and you can spell out spring or any other saying that you'd like. I think this is a great project to use with any season. And I'm just kind of penciling in the letters. I kind of got an idea from the letter stickers from Dollar Tree, how I kind of wanted it. And so I am so excited because I really didn't want it to be black letters. I'm like, what can I use? I really didn't want to paint it. And if you've noticed or gone to the hardware aisle, they have these furniture pencils that are used for like scrapes in your furniture, and you can kind of fill it in. It was perfect to use for my lettering. I was jumping for joy because these, I think it's a 3-pack, and this color is walnut, and the darker one was a little too dark, but walnut worked out beautifully. I'm so excited about this marker. When I was showing it to my mom, she thought that it was some kind of, like I etched it in there. And I'm like, no, it's just a little furniture marker. And so I'm using, or working on all the letters, and I just love how this turned out. And so now 3 of the letters are going to have a little bunny ears and a bunny tail. And I wanted to kind of keep it rustic, so I'm using this jute twine. The tinier jute twine there you see is from Dollar Tree. And I just used a little pom-pom that I had that I'm just wrapping to make a little sphere, a little bunny tail. And then I'm just hot gluing that together. I found these really cute little bunny headbands. I may have to wear one myself, but you can decorate them any way you want. Now this jute twine I got at Hobby Lobby. It's a little bit thicker, and I liked it better to use for the ears. So all I'm doing is wrapping the ears with the bigger jute twine, and then we're going to hot glue those to each of the boxes, or 3 of the boxes. A little worried about this project because I didn't know how all the little pieces were going to come together. You know how you kind of think about it in your head, and is it going to work? And I tell you, everything that I imagined worked out great. I couldn't believe it. I was so excited. So now I'm just using my wire cutters to cut off the plastic there around it. And I'm going to be gluing those on top of, I think I did it on the E and the T or something. You'll see. And so I'll hot glue those on. And you see there that the other one, the blue, is showing. So I do go back over it and add another little layer of the jute twine to cover that up. And I'm just going to hot glue the little bunny tail, get the rest of the ears on, and we are on the home stretch. The last part is going to be gluing all the boxes together. And that's why I'm so excited that I didn't use wood, because this just worked out super quickly. And I didn't have to use wood glue because it glued together. It probably would have glued together with a glue stick because it's so lightweight. But after you put them all together, it is extremely sturdy, and nobody would ever know that this was not made out of wood. I absolutely love how it came out. So I am already seriously thinking about making one that says spring and doing it in some pastel colors, maybe putting some like floral pieces coming out the top. That would be so cute. So what do you think? I love it. I think it's so easy. It's fun to paint these boxes, very therapeutic, and it's going to look beautiful on a mantle, or this is on one of my long tables. I know you've seen these gift boxes at Dollar Tree. Grab some and make your faux wood Easter sign today. I know it will be a showstopper. Moving right along with our extravaganza, I've got galvanized bunny pots. I'm first using 2 signs with the little galvanized bunnies on them, and a couple of pots I'll show you in just a little bit. So I'm first going to remove the galvanized bunnies from these really cool signs that we'll put away and use for another time. But it did have these little bows on them, and that was some glue that was on there, and I kind of struggled with that and had to get out my Glue Gun, and that took it right off. So they came out really well and easy to do. Give a little kiss. Okay, enough playing with those. So these pots I made in a previous project, and they are from Dollar Tree, and I used some styrofoam balls inside, and I just hot glued some of the moss on top, and then I used, I believe it was truffle paint and ivory, and then I just sanded it down. So that's quite easy to make. And looking at these sponge brushes, after the brush gets kind of old, I really like those dowels that are in there. So I just pull it apart and use those instead of the long, skinnier ones. So this worked out perfect. And so I'm just using some wax antique paint, and we're going to just paint those dowels. Using a little screwdriver, I'm poking a hole down inside of the styrofoam ball and pushing the dowels right in there. They're very snug. So now, using some hot glue, we'll put the galvanized bunnies right onto the dowels. And for the final touch, I'm just going to be adding a little bow. The bow that came with them were cute, but I just wanted to add a little farmhouse flair to it. So I'm using the buffalo check ribbon, and it is complete. How cute are these? So simple to make. And I will try and link that video on how I made the pots. And don't forget, if you haven't subscribed already, click that subscribe button. I would love for you to join in. So make these today. They're very simple and they will look great on a shelf, bathroom, or anywhere. So enjoy these galvanized bunnies. My next project is called the Washcloth Bunny Family. Now I know you've seen these washcloth bunnies around. If you haven't, then I'm so excited to bring it to you. But they are so easy to make with Dollar Tree products, and that's what we're going to do today. I'm giving my bunnies a very farmhouse flair to them. So I'm starting off with this Dollar Tree basket and using some Waverly wax in antique, and we're going to put that on as the first coat. And then I'm just going to wipe it off a little bit, and then we'll add some ivory paint to it. I'm using the dry brush technique, just going over all of it with the ivory paint. I love this, how it comes out very rustic and very beautiful. And this basket would be great to put a real life plant in and perfect for a gift. So Dollar Tree has these beautiful gray washcloths, and there's actually two ways to make these little washcloth bunnies. The first one is going from one corner to the other corner, all the way across, folding it in half, and then folding it over again. And grab some rubber bands because you'll need those to hold it all together. Super easy, right? And just fix up the little ears, and there you go. Now we're just going to decorate it. He's super cute already. And the next way to do it is to go one corner, rolling it up all the way to the center, and then stopping there and bringing the other corner into the center. And then you do the exact same thing. You're just going to fold it in the middle and bring it over. And then secure it with a rubber band. On this technique, or this way to do it, is exactly the same way, but you kind of have to pull the ears apart because they're kind of laying on top of each other, but not a problem at all. It's just a preference on how you want it to look. So you just kind of have to pull those apart, and they're just really darling floppy ears. Dollar Tree also has the white hand towels. I think this is called a bar towel. And I was thinking, oh gosh, it has to be square, but it really doesn't. So I'm just going to be rolling it from one corner all the way across, and it worked great. It makes just a little bit bigger bunny, and this one's going to be the mama bunny. So I just kind of check where my ears, how big I want my ears to be, and that's kind of where you fold it and add the rubber band. So now I'm just using this to get it all secure. If you notice in the front, like in where the face is, when you roll it from one corner all the way over to the next, it does give that separation in the front, but I don't mind it. It's fine for me. I've also seen people take eggs and place them in the back, in that sort of little scooped out area in the back. And so now here's our family. The mom is the bigger bunny, and then the washcloth packs came in two, so I made 2 grays and 2 white babies. So now I'm using some buffalo check ribbon to tie around it and give it that farmhouse flair. Some of the bunnies I tied with the buffalo check, and some I tied with the jute string, and then the mom is actually getting both. Next, I'm adding some little jute string whiskers and a little tail. And so these little whiskers, I used the smaller twine. I just cut 2, and then I use another piece to tie around it to secure it, which made 3 whiskers on each side. So that worked out great. So now I have them all ready. I'm not going to put eyes on them. I'm just going to be using buttons for the little nose. I love that little organizer that I got at Dollar Tree as well. It's perfect for all my little buttons. So now I'm just going to hot glue that right on top, and isn't it so cute? I love this. Oh yeah, here comes the little tail. I had some pom-poms. I used white for the gray bunny and then a black pom-pom for the white bunnies. So now I've got my moss, and I'm going to cut all that out and get it ready. Now this is a rather small basket, so all the bunnies that I made are not going to fit in there. So the first one, I'm just going to kind of show you that it's the mom and a couple of the babies. But I kind of stopped for a minute because I'm like, I need something more with this. So I'm using these party hats from Dollar Tree, and I'm taking it apart and sort of rolling it a little bit tighter. You know, it makes the perfect carrot. So I'm just going to secure that with some hot glue, and I'm going to use some of this fabric that I've used in a previous video. It's some fabric that I had. It's called Farmhouse ticking fabric. And so I'm going to make two, that's kind of a disco color. I thought that was so funny. It's that color of that party hat is so disco. So anyway, I'm hot gluing this fabric around, and we're going to get that all secure. I'm using one of the styrofoam smaller balls from Dollar Tree, and we're going to stick that on the top to give it a round edge at the top. I don't know if you noticed there, but I did burn my finger, and then I have a little burn from another one. Even though my setting is on low setting, it still kind of can burn you if you do it right away. Anyway, so I did my other carrot in some burlap fabric that I had, and then I'm just going to put some greenery on the top. I also secure some, it's a really dark gray cording that's going around the top, and just like that. And I had that from, I believe Dollar General has that. So I just added that to make it really pretty. And so I'm just going to be adding this into the basket with the mom. I also have a pan that I've had for a while. It's a galvanized sort of can, and it was perfect for the little babies. And then they'll get a carrot to munch on as well. So this is perfect to add in your bathroom to give as a gift. I think this would be really cute to give to one of your crafter friends that needs old towels and things to wipe up paint and all that kind of stuff. So this would be cute to give as a little crafting gift. I thought about that because I'm always using towels to wipe up messes. But it turned out so cute. I love these. And like I said, these have been done for a long time, but I just have never made some. So I thought it would be perfect for my bunny extravaganza. So what do you think? Grab some washcloths at Dollar Tree and make yours today. And my last project for today, although it's not my last project because we have part 2 coming soon, it's called the Mini Bunny Pillows. And I'm using a variety of fabric. And so now I'm just going to make my template. I'm just going to start out with a circle and just adding some ears. The body is quite easy to do. Just kind of draw it down. And I'm using some poster board from Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to kind of bring that down and kind of make it a very easy pattern, straight cut on the bottom, and then kind of flare it out on the sides for the little feet, pitter patter feet. All right, we're going to get this cut out, and that will be our wonderful template to use on our fabric. So the very first bunny, I'm just going to be using my fabric, and I need 2 layers, and I'm just going to be drawing around it. Now this first one that I did, I kind of went close to the template, and on my other ones, I kind of went around not as close. So I think that will be a little bit better because you're going to be gluing it and you want just a little edge to show. Like here, I'm going to be adding my glue not at the edge of it, and I'm just going to kind of glue all of it down. And I'm going to glue all of it except for the very bottom because that's where we'll stuff it. So now that's done, and I'm using some stuffing from a Dollar General pillow. I think that is really the best deal. You get a $2 pillow and it is full of the stuffing. So I think that's a great deal. And so I'm just using a little dowel that I'm going to poke up into the ears. That was just the most difficult area to kind of get up in there. But the rest of it is super easy. And I am just so in love with these little pillows. They turned out so cute. And I can't wait for you to see what I do with them. So now I'm just going to finish stuffing it. Oops, I had a little hole there. And so I'm finishing stuffing it all up. I love that it's straight across the bottom because it made it super easy to glue together. And it just was really full. Glued, put as much in there as I could. So these are all 4 of them. All of this material I got at Dollar Tree except for the ticking fabric. But I just love them. But we're not finished yet. So I have these tags that I got at Hobby Lobby. I think they were Christmas tags. And so I'm writing all of the names of the characters in Peter Cottontail. So that's Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter. And I'm using my little pinking shears for paper. I think they're Fisker scissors. And so I'm going to be using some jute twine for the little ribbon around their neck. And I'll add each name on the ribbon or the jute twine. It looks so cute. Oh, I love this. Last little touch was the button on top of the bow, and so all of them are done. They all have their buttons, they all have their name tags, Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter. You could use any fabric that you have around the house. I think these would be really pretty in some floral. And all these fabrics I got at Dollar Tree, except for that striped ticking fabric. But the gray felt, the gray stripe there, that is a baby blanket. And I was lucky to find the buffalo check fabric too at Dollar Tree. So I am not a sewer, and so I love it when I can use hot glue to put some fabric together. And it just came out beautiful. Oops, I think I see a little fuzz on there. Yep, I better get it off. So I hope you enjoyed these little bunny family. Make yours today. And there you have part 1 of my huge Easter Bunny Extravaganza. I made a lot of neutral colors today, and part 2 is coming really soon in just a few days, and I think you'll see a little bit more color in my next one, part 2. So I hope you're able to find your supplies at Dollar Tree and that you're able to make some of these wonderful projects and that I've inspired you. I want to thank you for subscribing, but most of all, I want to thank you for being my friend. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and even a comment. I would love to hear from you. I'll see you next time on Soozie's Stuff, KDIY Channel 146. Bye, everybody.